I'm Matt McMonagle, and I'm going to be showing you how to clean your kitchen today. Step one of how to clean your kitchen is to, for some reason, decide that you're going to make a YouTube video showing people how to make a French dip using London broil. So we're going to start off with that. As you can see, we have our London broil here. Usually for this recipe, I would use a chuck roast, but with everything going on right now, they're super expensive. Like normal chuck roast that I get for $10 is right now $30, so I'm not looking to spend that. London broil work out just fine. I've done it before. You'll see that actually it'll fall apart. Using what we're using today is the Instant Pot, so that'll help it sort of just become really tender and work really well for a French dip. So you'll see some of the ingredients we have here. For searing the London broil in the pan here, we're going to be just putting on top a nice coat of garlic pepper and salt, using olive oil for the pan. And then for the au jus and what we're going to be cooking the London broil in, we're going to have some soy sauce, some Worcestershire sauce, beef broth, minced garlic. We also have some thyme here and some chopped onion. I would recommend, if you are a fan of onions, I'm not as much, using fresh onion. So that would definitely be better for this recipe, but I'm going to be using chopped onion. Still works out, brings in a lot of those flavors, but is definitely less acidic. So we're going to be using that today. So let's start off with the London broil. Okay, so we salted both sides and then put on the garlic pepper as well, and then massaged it into the beef. While we were doing that, we took our olive oil over here, put it in the pan. We have it nice and hot now. It's actually smoking a little bit, so it's definitely hot. So we're going to throw the London broil into here and sear both sides of the beef. So let's get that started now. And remember, I'm going to throw this in, but remember, after touching raw beef, you want to make sure you're washing your hands. We're going to sear both sides, probably about 5 minutes on each side. Just give it a nice crust. And when I come back, we'll have this all clean and ready to go. We're next going to move to making the au jus in the Instant Pot that this is going to cook in. So we're going to use about a tablespoon of the Worcestershire sauce, tablespoon of soy sauce, 3 teaspoons of the minced garlic, which is about 6 cloves. We're going to use the full thing of beef broth, a couple dashes of the chopped onion. Depending on how much you like onion, you can put more or less in. And we'll do just a little bit of the thyme as well. Okay, so as you can see here, the steak is pretty much done being seared at this point. So as that was going on, like I said, we made our au jus that is ready here in the Instant Pot for this to be placed into. At the same time, I just left aside 1 teaspoon of the garlic and just a 1/4 cup, a little less, probably about a 1/2 cup of the au jus that we're going to use to glaze this pan after we put the London broil into the Instant Pot. So we're going to do that now. See how much hand strength I have doing this with one hand. Give that a nice grab. There we go. And we'll put it right into the Instant Pot and just push it down so we make sure it gets covered. There we go. In the au jus. There we go. And then we still have this pan here, as you can see, has all these little bits here. We want to make sure we get all of this into the Instant Pot. So turn this down here just a little bit. We're going to take the garlic first and just put that in there. Okay, put the garlic in the pan first. And then we're going to take a spatula here and just scrape all these bits off, like of the bottom of the pan. But at the same time, we're just going to mix this garlic around just a little bit. In with the bits, trying to scrape it off. And then there's going to be some that's going to be a little harder to get off, and that's where our au jus is going to come into play to help deglaze the pan. So I will do that. And right after we do that, actually, you want to take all of this that you're deglazing and scraping off, and you want to put it right into the au jus. You want to put it right in the pot. It's going to add some great flavors. So you don't... Okay, so you can see we have everything in the pot ready to go. We have the London broil in there that's been seared, the au jus with all its seasonings, and the everything that was deglazed in the pan. Next, you're going to put on the lid here. Just put that on and close it. Then you want to make sure back here, if you have one of these, you'll see one says venting. We don't want it to vent because we're going to be sealing it. So you want to make sure you turn it to sealed. See that there? And then the setting we're going to put it on, you can hit the meat stew. And then we're going to change it down to 45 minutes. Especially because I'm going to not be pulling this out right away. So I'm going to set it to 45 minutes. I don't want to overcook it. So right away it'll do it on its own once it sets. So just give it a couple seconds. As you can see, perfect. And then that's when the 45 minutes will start. And then we're going to let it sit for 25 to 30 minutes and let it naturally release, because you can release the pressure manually, but we're going to let it naturally release the pressure, which will just help our London broil sit in there a little longer, cook a little more. And see, we are now done. The time is up on the Instant Pot, and I let it naturally release the pressure. If you're in more of a hurry, you can do it yourself manually. Just be careful you don't let the steam hit you. And speaking of that, when you take off the lid, make sure that you tilt the lid underneath the Instant Pot as you're opening it, because there's going to be some moisture that's going to drip off the lid. You don't want that to hit, any part of your body, because it's going to be boiling hot steam. So, and moisture. So now we're going to get this out. It might be a little difficult. I'm trying to just pull it out with like some tongs. So we're not going to use those because it will split apart because it is very tender. So I like to use a straining spoon. So you'll see here, I'm just going to go in, and you'll see that it is actually breaking apart pretty easily in there, and I'm not really doing much, so I'm just going to put this off to the side here. So what we're going to do is we're going to scoop this all out, and then when we come back, we will be pulling this apart in a plate ready to put onto our sandwich. So I think it's the last piece right here. We have all that nice au jus in there too that we'll make sure to use. You can also use this for, I know my parents have used this before, they let their steaks sit in it before they cook it. So if you have a lot of au jus left, you don't have to just toss it. There's many. So I just wanted to show you what you should expect when trying to pull apart the beef. Usually I'll use 2 forks and just use those to split them apart, as you can see, like here. It should be super tender. Like, you should be able to literally come in here and just, like, I can do this with 1 fork if I need to. I'm literally just coming in here and, it's just shredding. Like I said, this was London broil. I did not marinate it beforehand. I just put it right in the Instant Pot with the au jus and let it cook for about 45 minutes. And as you can see, it shreds very easily. So what I will do is finish up shredding. I'll put it on a sandwich, and we'll